Folks, I got to level with you. I don't believe for a second that the guy who lowered our taxes and built the strongest economy in recent history just lost to a guy who promised to raise our taxes and lock down the economy again. Do you really think these two messages are equal? Of course not. A guy who ran the worst campaign in history, I mean, barely got out of his basement. He struggled to put a sentence together, whose son is under investigation for what we believe is money laundering, and couldn't even get endorsed by his own predecessor until the last minute, somehow got more votes than Barack Obama and arguably ran the most organized campaign in recent history for 2012? I watched these same bastions of liberalism burn down their own cities after they fumed over the fact that Trump was elected in 2016. And now what? After calling Trump supporters racist, bigoted, homophobic, istophobic, phobophobe, deplorable, uneducated rubes, they want all Trump supporters to just turn around and accept Joe Biden won in a fair election? That chance, buddy. So it is that far-fetched to think that the same party that concocted a fake dossier and spent $40 million of our money over a president for some garbage Russian collusion theory would try to rig an election? Of course it's feasible. And until some of these concerns are addressed, we should be skeptical, folks. Al Gore took 35 days to concede. We got some time.
But remember how much Donald Trump accomplished within 4 years, okay? This was probably one of the most consequential political phenomenons we've ever seen. Whether you hate him or love him, or you're somewhere in between, you got 200 federal judges, you got 3 Supreme Court justices, you got Middle East peace plans coming out the wazoo. He broadened the appeal of the Republican Party to blue collar and black voters. Let's hope the Republicans capitalize on that. And you know what? And this is something that the left just should be thanking him for. He didn't start a single war. He upset you guys and kept you up at night with tweets. So the good news is this guy did a lot. And the even better news is he's going nowhere. So even if he loses this election, I said this yesterday and people laughed, but trust me, 2024, he's going to be the nominee, and I'll be in my early 40s, so I can consider being the VP. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I think that barring any health issues, he's going to be back. And the fact that he doesn't drink means that he's not going to change. You know what I mean? But I think that if you're a Trump supporter, you got to feel good. You won. The guy broke the system. He broke the mold. He broke the media. He broke the pollsters. He broke the entire political machinery. Nothing is ever going to be the same. You're never going to see the same thing after Trump, unless it's Trump.
Yes.
Now, let's think for a moment. Everything that the president has overcome in his presidency, a lot, just one of these episodes, one of them, like the niece writing the book or the porn star or anything, would have literally killed a normal politician, okay? For President Trump, he just brushes it off and goes back to work for the American people. Do we really think that a guy like Joe Biden is going to stop this president? I don't believe so. You know, if he goes down, and I believe he will, one of the things that will be written in his political obituary, he never adequately addressed the situation with Hunter Biden. Hasn't really talked about it. Just says there's nothing there, and then gets real angry, right? And the media, they never asked the most basic questions that should have been asked. He got to go on national television, debate stage after debate stage, and it was never asked basic questions like, is this laptop Hunter Biden's? Did you actually arrange that meeting with the Burisma executive? Quite frankly, that shows a lack of respect for all of us, that the media would not do that. And they don't like him, they don't like us, and they've been saying for so long that he would lose, Donald Trump, that they're not to be trusted. They are not to be trusted right now at this juncture. And you know what? A lot of times he seems afraid of being caught. Did you see this during some of the town halls? There are a lot of times where he shows absolute terror. I mean, we've seen Donald Trump now for almost 4 years, 5 years counting the campaign. You could look at all the footage. You would never find an image like that where he's afraid of a question from an ordinary person. Because unlike the media, ordinary people, you never know what they're going to ask. They might just ask about Burisma and Hunter and the laptop. Is it Hunter's? And did you meet with that Burisma officials? every time Joe meets a civilian, a question like that could come up.